PCC, it's Chef Ben here, looking to talk a little bit about leftovers for your Thanksgiving dinner. So everybody always talks to me and asks me the question, what do you do with all the leftover turkey, stuffing that you have every year? Because if you're anything like me, you prepare for twice as many people as you actually have coming, because you want to have those leftovers. So today I'm going to show you a couple different dishes that we're going to do with turkey leftovers. Nothing against a turkey on rye or that turkey noodle soup, but I'm going to try to show you a couple different things to make it interesting this year for all your holiday leftovers. So first thing we're going to accomplish is breakfast. So we never talk about using the turkey for breakfast, but I think doing a turkey biscuit is the way to go. So what we have here is we're going to make some biscuits. I'm going to show you how to make some biscuits. We have our leftover turkey, we have our cranberry sauce, then we have some bacon, and we have some eggs. So what we're going to do, simply is we're going to spice up our cranberry with just a little bit of Tabasco, and then really the star of the show is the biscuits. So I've already kind of gotten here. I have flour and cornmeal. The cornmeal is going to give a little bit of texture, so it's a little different than kind of a southern style biscuit. Kind of call this a Texas style biscuit, a little bit of cornmeal in there. We're going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese in here too as well, butter, creme fraiche, and buttermilk for that. So as you see, I have butter already in here, and they talk about cutting in the butter. So the butter's been sitting out a little bit, so it's not super cold, but it's not super soft either. If it's too soft, it's actually going to be a denser biscuit. So I'm just going to do it one hand here. I'm just going to cut in, and just what I'm looking for is to make little pellets of the butter, just so it can kind of coat that flour. One thing I always do is only do it with one hand, right? Two hands, you're going to overwork it. One hand's always good. So if you see someone who makes a lot of biscuits, usually one of their hands, their wrist is a little bit stronger than the other side because they only use one hand. There's also a little bit of baking powder in here and a little bit of salt in here for flavoring. The baking powder is going to give it a little bit of the rise that you're looking for. Then we have our buttermilk, creme fraiche, and milk. I'm going to pour it all in at once. What you don't want to have happen is you don't want to overwork it at this point. You just basically want to kind of bring it together. So I'm just going to kind of work it all in here. And really what I want to do is I just want to get it to the point that it comes to be one ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. It'll harden up. It'll make it a little bit easier for us to roll out. All right. All right. So we have our dough that's been in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. That'll harden it up a little bit and make it easier for us to roll out. So you hear I have a lot of flour on here. I'm going to take my dough out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more flour right on top of it. And then we talked about some cheese in there. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of the cheese right over the top. I'm going to kind of press that in, and you'll see what I'm going to do with this here. So we're going to put here. And to kind of mix this in, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this dough right over top of this. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more of this in. Fold that on top of each other. And now we'll have some of that cheddar cheese all throughout. So I'm just going to give it a light roll. I'm going to go about a ½ inch thick. These aren't going to rise a lot, but they're going to rise some. So the thinner they are, but I like them to be a little thicker. So I'm cutting big ones here because we're going to use them as a sandwich base. Anytime baking biscuits, I put them right next to each other. If they're right next to each other, that'll help them actually rise up a little bit. Get one more nice one out of there. So what I have here is I have a little melted butter and buttermilk. Now these are going to go into a 400-degree oven to start off with for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then I want you to pull them out. I want you to brush them one more time, and then back in the oven for about 3 minutes to finish. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on these two. I'm going to keep these plain. I just like a little extra cheese on there. All right, so it's time to assemble our breakfast sandwich here. So we have our biscuit already out. We've let it cool down. We've cut it in half. We have our turkey, we have our bacon, and then I did just kind of an over easy egg. but you can do scrambled egg. You could do a poached egg if you want to, but we're just doing a fried egg for this. So we're gonna build this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of layer, and we're gonna put some of this turkey here right on top. We're gonna put a couple pieces of bacon right on top of that, okay? And then we're just gonna throw this into the oven. We're gonna give that into the oven for about 3 minutes at 400 degrees just to get warm all the way through, and then we're gonna build our biscuit. So while that's in, we have our cranberry sauce that we just flavored with a little bit of Tabasco, just a little bit of heat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna spread a little bit of this right down on here. We're also gonna do a little bit on the top here too as well. Now our eggs, bacon, and turkey coming out. Just gonna get a little spatula here and put that right underneath there. Put that top on. Now you got a great breakfast sandwich for the morning. A little bit of fried egg, turkey, bacon. Then you got this Texas biscuit with a little bit of cheddar cheese and then spicy cranberry sauce. So there you have it. Quick, simple, easy thing to do. A little bit different, but get your morning started the next day. Trying to come out of that turkey coma. This is something that's going to get you really started for your Black Friday shopping.